cohort last year. He's an assistant professor in the College of Education in the area of curriculum and instruction. His research focuses on STEM education. He's a great friend to the TLPDC, and I'm looking forward to his remarks today. Would you join me in welcoming him?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, Suzanne, for the opportunity to speak to the group today. How many people remember growing up playing on a seesaw at the park? How many people remember that experience? Everybody liked that experience. What was cool about the experience, we all agree, you get to go up, you get to go down, you get to go up, you get to go down. But what made that part unique was when we were doing it with somebody we can relate to, somebody we, in a sense, trusted, somebody who was going to play fair on the seesaw. It was pretty much someone just like us. But then we also remember those times on the seesaw where we got someone who was not like us, someone we possibly couldn't relate to. Two things occurred. We either took advantage of the situation, sat down or jumped up so they fall down, or vice versa, they used their weight, sat down, and just left you hanging in the sky. And that's the cusp of our time together today. We all have a role to play because all of us at some point in time are in a position of power, and then sometimes we're not in a position of power. So regardless of the role we're in, how are we going to use that? There's a story told of a mouse that used to hang out at a farmer's house. This mouse used to zip through the house every single day. He just thought that was his house. So one day a little mouse came out and he saw the farmer opening the package. It was a mouse trap. The mouse was like, oh crap, I guess they don't like me as much as they did. So the farmer and his wife said, we're going to catch this mouse, we're going to put out this trap and get him. So the little mouse went outside to the farm. He found a chicken. He said, hey, chicken, I need some help. They're trying to catch me. How can you help me? The chicken said, hey, that's your problem. That's not my problem, and left him alone. So then the mouse went to the pig. He said, for sure, the pig is going to help me. He got to the pig. Hey, man, they're trying to catch me with this mouse trap. Can you help me? The pig said, again, that's not my problem, and went along his way. Then he got to the cow. He's like, this big cow, I know the cow is going to help me. The cow said the same thing to the little mouse. I'm not going to help you. That mouse trap, that issue, that's your problem. So the mouse slowly went back to the house and went to sleep. As he was sleeping that night, he heard, pow! He's like, wow, the mouse trap has caught something, but it's not me. It had caught a venomous snake. So then he heard a loud scream. The snake had bit the farmer's wife because she thought the mouse was there and it was a snake. So the farmer's like, oh my gosh, my wife has been bitten by the snake. Let me take her to the hospital. Get to the hospital. The doctors are trying to give her different medicines. Then the doctor says, go home. You have a fever. Get some chicken soup. The farmer goes home, takes the wife, gets to home. He goes to find that chicken on the farm. He chops up that chicken. Guess what? Now he has chicken soup for his wife. He's hoping his wife gets better. Unfortunately, she doesn't get better. So people are coming and going throughout the house. The farmer is then like, we need some more food. Mr. Pig, come on inside. He butchers the pig. I'm sorry that you're eating during the story. So then, unfortunately, the lady passes away. And then the farmer has his big funeral. He has to feed everybody. He goes and gets the cow. And the whole point of this is we all have some role to play. What if the pig, what if the cow, what if the chicken would have helped that little mouse along the way? Each one at that particular time was in a position of power. They did not use it to benefit someone else who did not have that power. What are we doing in our various positions? And again, power rotates. When we're in a position of power, what are we doing to affect change? When we're not in a position of power, what are we doing to push those in a position of power to affect change? And I think about it in terms of steps. So I think about it in terms of 3 steps. First, we have to educate ourselves. So what are some issues? I'm a teacher, so I ask questions. What are some issues in regards to diversity and inclusion in your mind? What are some things that you deal with, or what are some known issues in regards to diversity and inclusion? And if you blink, I'm assuming that's like raising your hand in my class, so I definitely call on you. So what is a diversity or inclusion issue? It could be anything.
I think one,
But one.
is varying levels of experience.
Okay.
Right? And how that kind of creates, I don't know, if it's power or just levels of comfort around diversity.
So that's an issue. What's another issue? Representation. What do you mean, like gender equal representation? All of it? Okay. And one more. What do you mean by appropriation? Like funding? We can be honest. Cultural appropriations. So we know as we think about the different issues that are out there. I know probably in the cohort you definitely talked about gender issues and how can we overcome those. We probably talk about different wage issues that women have. You probably talk about issues among LGBTQ students that we have in our classroom. So we know the different things that exist. Possibly, I know in our cohort we talked about sexual harassment. That was a known issue, not only at the student level, but also at the faculty level. So we're educated about the issues, and as researchers, I love to tease my colleagues. Every time there's a problem, the first thing we say, we gotta go research, we gotta find it out. Well, we know what the problems are. How about we talk about some action steps in regards to the problems? So that's the second thing in the step. First, we look at educating ourselves, but second, let's think about action steps that we're taking to make change, because it all starts with us. And then the third step, how are we holding ourselves accountable to the change? It's easy to just put out a plan, put it on the bulletin board, put it at a faculty meeting, this is what we do, and no one ever checks on it. Or we just do it to check off some boxes and say, hey, we met the requirements, we met the OP manual, but we really don't mean it and we really don't care about it. So as it relates to change, we have to start making it personal and thinking about what can we do. How are we making it a better place for the people that come after us? For me, it's very personal. I have 2 daughters. So I think about a lot of the gender issues, equity issues, and I think in my work, how am I making it better for them as they come along the way? If it's not better, I don't want them looking at the world as not better. I want them to say, Dad, why didn't you do your part in the fight for equality for women? So a lot of you have children in here, or you have someone you care about that's faced discrimination, that's faced a different issue. What are you doing to try to help solve the problem? Because you either help solving the problem or you're a part of the problem. So again, what role are you playing in this fight for diversity and for inclusion? I'll leave you with this story. There were 2 individuals from 2 totally different walks of life. Never met each other. Totally different in ethnicity, culture, background, everything. They went to sleep one night and they said, I want to know what the meaning of life is. And an angel came to both of them and said, come to the beach first thing in the morning. I'll tell you what the meaning of life is. So these 2 individuals, different backgrounds, different worlds, they met up, they were on the beach that morning. So they're like, okay, we're on the beach. What's the meaning of life? The angel just pointed to an island. And he said, there's 2 things you're going to need to know on this trek to understand the meaning of life. Sand and rocks. They're like, that's weird, but we're going to go along with the flow with you. So these 2 individuals started taking bits of sand, start throwing it in the ocean, because they wanted to make a bridge to get to this island. That was the only way to get there. So they take time, they get to know each other throughout this process. They get to learn about different cultures, the other person's culture, and they have a shared experience. So when they get to this island finally, after a long period of time of working together, they're like, this can't be the meaning of life. There's just us on this island, and then they see other people. So then the angel reappears. What did you learn throughout the experience? They said, it took a long time to get here. Agreed. What else did you learn? We noticed the sand that we were using, it was different. He said, good. The sand that you used to be able to get here was diversity. Diversity is different. But for you 2 to understand diversity and understand different cultures, you 2 had to work together. And that's the first key, working together in terms of diversity. But the only way you can work together, you got to get to know each other. And along the way, you learn how each person works, and you learn what worked for you and what did not work for you. Then the angel pointed to a mountaintop. The sun was beaming on it. It looked beautiful. So the 2 people were like, okay, that must be the meaning of life. The angel had disappeared at this point. But there's other people around them. And they said, remember 2 things, rocks and sand. They saw a bunch of rocks. So this time they gathered different people around them, and they were all going to work together to build a bridge now from the island to this mountaintop. So different people, different backgrounds, different walks of life start building this bridge with these rocks. So they get to this mountaintop, it's beautiful. They spent given more time together. So the angel reappears. What did you learn? We learned a couple things. Working together with more people really made a difference. We were able to get this thing done a lot faster. And we noticed this thing, I think, kind of like inclusion, because we had to put things together for it all to work out together, these rocks. And the angel said, good job, you're getting it. The first bridge you built, it was built of diversity, understanding somebody else. Then the second bridge, it wasn't just rocks, it was these inclusive thought process. How do we work together? So then the angel disappears. Everybody's at the mountaintop cheering, having a good time. We made it. We understand the meaning of life. This big storm sweeps in, sweeps away all the rocks, sweeps away all the sand that they have taken years to make. Similar to, think about you've created in your department or created in your program all these policies that are going to help someone else. You get an administrator comes in, this is a new day, we're getting rid of all that stuff you've done. That's happened to every one of us before. So the people are crying like all of this work for nothing. So then the angel reappears and says, that work you did was not for nothing. It wasn't about the material rocks or the material sand. Diversity and inclusion is within you. Along this journey, you've learned more about someone else. Not stereotypical views, but you truly learned about them. You've learned if you work together, things will get better. You've learned to play your role, to play your part. Each of you in this process at a different point in time was empowered and not empowered. But you saw you work together to make it better for someone else. Now the key with this is each of you going back and finding someone else and take them along this journey for the meaning of life. So as you all have gone through this institute, it's great that you're going to get the trophy, you're going to get a certificate. That's great. But the whole point of this is, how are we going out of this room and helping others see the importance of diversity and inclusion on this campus? Not only others in our department, but also with our students. And again, we can't just say we're going to research it, we're going to talk about it. What actions are we willing to take? And sometimes those actions are uncomfortable. Sometimes those discussions are uncomfortable. But if we truly care about the next generation, we truly care about making things better, we got to be willing to play a part in this. As a lot of people say, you got to have some skin in the game. And we can't, and as in the story of the pig and the mouse and the chicken and the cow, roles change. One moment you can be in power and one moment you're not. And I know a lot of times when that happens, the person that was in power is not. They're wondering, are they going to get me now? Or are we going to work together like I should have been working together this entire time? So I'll leave you with that. Go back. Let's make a difference. Let's make a change. But what will your role be in this fight for change across not only the campus, but in the community and then on a larger scale? Each of us is here for a reason. It's not just to make a bunch of money and die. We're here to make some type of difference. I understand as assistant professors, we're always worried, I got to get tenure, I got to get tenure. We got to start thinking a little bit bigger than tenure. I agree, we want to get tenure. But is that it? Like, that's what we really came to the great city of Lubbock, Texas, just to get tenure? Or are we here to make a change? So when you look back at your child or your grandkids, you can say, I did these things to make it better for you. Now you go back and do the same thing for someone else. Thank you all.